Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. What's your question? What did they do? They not believe that we should follow the law? Well, what do they believe in? Okay, all right. So they believe that we're under grace. So I would just tell them to give them your wallet. Just tell them, give me your wallet. Stealing ain't a sin. I need your wallet. I need you to give me that right now. In the name of Jesus Christ. I was about to do that to this devil at camp. He was talking about he didn't want to apologize for slavery because he didn't he didn't feel as though that was necessary. He didn't feel as though those things in the past mattered or whatever. And if it doesn't matter, well then let's just start off with a clean slate. That's what a lot of Christians want to do. They want to erase the law. That's what they want to do, even though the Bible doesn't say anything about that. Well, if we're erasing the law, let's erase the part where it says don't murder. You want to keep part of it, but throw away the parts you don't like. So just tell them something like, just tell them something in the law that they do agree with, but in its opposite. So something like that. Be like, oh, okay, well, you would usually they would forgive somebody if they murdered them. But if you stole from a black person, they ain't gonna forgive that. You steal $5 from a black person, they'll remember it 50 years later because we're so poor. So I would do something like that if they say they don't believe in the law, they believe Christ did away with the law, whatever they phrase it as. Do something like that. I know they believe they can eat pork, no problem. Well, can I steal your wallet? What does that say? Okay. Both of those are good. And the first one was a stronger cut. A lot of times, even though they think that the New Testament says that they don't have to follow the law, the New Testament is the biggest cuts to following God's laws. Wrong one. That sounds familiar. Remind me what it says again. That's real heavy. What you got to do, you got to break that down real slow. If they let you, this is the problem I run into. When I speak to people about the Bible, they don't have the patience to hear. Oh yeah, definitely get the mics. We still got to get that other receiver. Yeah, but if you get the opportunity to talk to what I assume is your loved one, right? Right, of course. Take it down. It'll be good. Oh, okay. As long as that's on and this is on. Of course, if you have the opportunity to speak to that to your loved one and they are actually listening to you, you should read this to them. Read that again. I would break it down like this.
I want to come to the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
The Bible is the book of the commandments of God. So what are we saying? Are we saying that Jesus Christ came to throw away the Bible? Keep going.
And the law that endure forever.
And God's laws that endure forever. Not until 0 BC or 0 AD, not until Christ comes back or whatever they want to believe. This law endures forever. God didn't make this for a season. This is forever.
Right.
Go ahead.
and they that keep it shall come to life.
Now you got to make a decision. Do you want to keep God's laws, or do you want to make an excuse? Do you want to say, and it's not very difficult. What do you got to do? Substance. Biggest thing for me was first biggest thing was this is how I knew. This is how I knew I was an Israelite, 10 toes. When I stopped eating bacon. That was I said, man, that was easy. I said, boom, no more bacon. You know, I already don't celebrate my birthday. I already don't celebrate Christmas. A lot of y'all are hung up on Christmas and all these things. You should just let those go if you love God, if you love Jesus, right? That's what the Bible says. You should let go of that bacon. And that's the biggest thing. It's just you're too selfish to love anybody other than yourself. You got to love God just a little. You got to love God enough to put that to the side, put the pork to the side, put the fake holidays to the side, put all that fake religion to the side, and actually embrace the culture that the Bible speaks of without trying to wipe half of it away. Salaki, did you have anything else? Yeah, there's some. Of course, there are many other priests. There's another precept in the New Testament. Let me see if I can get it here. You got if they say they love, of course you got, if they say they, love God, but keep not his commandments, they are liars. You just said that, right? Uh, yeah. A lot of First John, I think chapter 3 and 5. Let me see what that says. Precepts like that, talking about the hypocrisy that a lot of people live in. A lot of hypocrisy that a lot of people, especially Christians, live in. They want to believe that they love God, but hold out on God. I was on TikTok earlier, and there was this Christian. He was talking about how homosexuality is not of the Lord. That is, you are sinning against God. You can't say you follow Christ and you're allowing homosexuality in your church. All this. I'm like, well, I'm sure you eat pork. I know you just was in a Halloween costume and you're going to celebrate Christmas. You cannot have it your way. You can't have it, half this way, whatever way you feel more comfortable. You just got to do everything that the Bible says, everything that God says. That's the only way to truly love God. God has a conditional love, and you can't say you love him without fulfilling those conditions. All right. If you don't got anything else, we're gonna kick the class off. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana, where we teach so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives the truth about the Bible, that they are God's chosen people. Uh, God's chosen people, the Israelites. Jesus Christ is a black man, and he's coming back to save his people with what the Bible calls uh 200 million angels. So that's just how that's going to go. It's not going to be some sort of peaceful rapture that you guys believe. It's going to be a full on onslaught, and that is actually what my class is about today. Are these aliens or are these angels? That's the title of the class. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that these are in fact angels. The oppressor just had a congressional meeting about UAPs yet again. Get that out of there. About UAPs yet again, which otherwise known as unidentified aerial phenomenon, and they have to call it a phenomenon because the way that these uh ships or bodies move defy all physics and observable reality to these pilots and these officials, so much so that even known astronomers or physicists, even people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he uh he will not he cannot say that these are real or not real without more proof because of the claims that the government itself says that they've witnessed these aircrafts, doing, both going into water and exiting water without losing momentum and things like that. So I'm going to play a little bit of that congressional hearing here for everybody, and then I'm going to bring out the scriptures to explain everything that they saw was written in the Bible over 2,000 years ago. Do I gotta keep saying that? Also, the Bible is older than 2,000 years, but that's just a good rule of thumb to start with. All right, let's give the Lord a hand. We all got here tonight. Crisis got some mercy from the Lord. We got some mercy. No nuclear bombs yet. Let's got to be happy for that, right? Black people still have a chance to come back to their full glory. So that's always a good thing. I'm gonna get the Lord a hand for that. We're going to go straight into this video. Can somebody hold for me Zechariah 5:1, and then somebody else hold me Matthew, or first hold me Matthew 24:37. Or to make it 28:36, 24:36. Excuse me, Matthew 24:36. And Zechariah 5:1. Okay, all right, let me get straight to this video. If you got any questions anywhere in these chats, just feel free to type them in. I don't see, bro. I got that. Let's get this video, right?
Mr. Elizondo, to your knowledge, can you name the country and around time frame that the first back engineered UAP program started?
Ma'am, unfortunately, I would not be able to have that conversation in public.
Can anyone on the panel name that?
Okay, so she just asked. So the United States government alleges that both they and other countries in the world possess technologies from these UAPs, right? They possess they know they're both possess little crashed pieces of spacecrafts, I suppose, as well as they're working right now to reverse engineer the technology. Now, a lot of black people don't give a damn about nothing I'm saying right now because they still got to go to work tomorrow and pay their bills. And I'm telling you right now that this is very important for the salvation and the forever change of black people. Eventually, you're not going to go to work. Eventually, your reality will change. Eventually, those right coming up right next, those crazy black men on the corner yelling at you about pork and your lasciviousness are going to be right, and God is going to put them in a place where you got to follow them like you follow Joe Biden. You got to follow them like you would adhere to the police or your judges or your politicians. That's what's coming next. There's going to be a turning of things upside down. Right now, you see a sign from even the government has to admit they're so frequent that these UAPs are they can't hide it anymore. It used to be a little cockamamie conspiracy theory. Now it's public knowledge. So they're saying this congresswoman, she's asking, when did y'all first start to reverse engineer this technology? He said that's classified. So that's just to keep y'all up to date. We're starting off in the middle of the video. Let me keep going.
None of you. This next question is for Mr. Gallaudet. To your knowledge, have any USOs ever outpaced our submarines?
Yes, ma'am.
At what?
She just asked if they've ever outpaced their submarines, the United States submarines, which is a ridiculous question.
Magnitude.
I don't have the exact speed, but again, a witness came to me, a credible former submarine officer who observed it on sonar data. And this was in the 80s in the North Atlantic during a storm. and it outpaced his submarine by orders of magnitude.
Are you aware of any hotspots that currently exist off our shores in North America?
Not with sufficiently credible data, ma'am.
Okay, we've heard reports of there potentially being hotspots, maybe entry and exit points. Have you heard of any of that?
I have not, ma'am, but my colleague.
So not to get too cocky, she's talking about like if there are places that they frequent. Are there places that they go a lot? Are there places you could tell me where they enter into or from or things like that? Because you want to know if you're about to be in a freaking Hollywood movie. You want to know if you're about to be in Independence Day 3, right? Go ahead.
Slide a piece if I can. I just tell you more. These Edomites do not read the scriptures. He should ask you, do we have an interest in the exit that it comes to?
That's how, like a.
If she know, if she should be afraid. If she read her scripture, she understand the Bible. I don't know if she was Christian or not. She, if she read the scripture, she should be like, she should be telling y'all need to watch out because Christ is coming back. With 200 million angels. That's what we need to be looking at. That should get y'all.
Fact.
That's what I'm saying. So they try to find a ways. If it's going faster than the submarine, like come
a
on,
submarine.
yeah. That's what she asked, right? Yeah,
right. Submarines are some of the most some of the fastest ships, but like, come on now.
Like, he did.
Said the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 9. And then the angels of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear.
That is what the Lord instills fear in everybody who sees it. You see the Lord pull up, it's not like what the Christian church would like you to believe. You get this warm and fuzzy feeling. No, it is dread and fear. Even the people who serve the Most High often were afraid. Just like the Israelites at the base of Mount Zion, when they saw the Lord descend on the Mount Zion in a fiery cloud, they said, Jesus Christ, Moses, you handle that. I don't want nothing to do with what the Most High got going on up there. And if that's how God's chosen people felt about the Most High, how do you think these oppressors feel about him? I would look. These oppressors have a lot to fear. Not only are they about to witness the great mighty power of the Lord, that's to pay for to the Most High. For all the crimes and the oppression and the lack of mercy and love that they've shown to God's chosen people, the Most High is going to pay them back something so crucial. I wouldn't want to see him. It's like I've been bullying brother or the sister or whatever these last 400 years, and then eventually he pulls up on my block with 20 YNs, 4 Suburbans, and 18 switches. He about to switch me down. I'm like, what the? It's not a good feeling. And that's what these congresswomen, these congressmen, and this man being questioned. He's a former Navy admiral. I'm not sure, but he's a high-ranking Navy officer, formerly, and he's giving a report about how these UAPs move in the water. They're terrified. They're absolutely terrified. Imagine you all you can do is sit back and watch as this thing moves past you and does whatever it wants, and then you just hope it leaves. They're victims. They're literal victims in the water and in the air, and yet somehow in their heart they think they have the ability to fight. This is why the ISUPK under Commander John Yohana, we say you don't vote, man. You don't do none of this. You don't try to join their system. You go above them, kind of like a corporate ladder, right? If you got a problem with your boss, you don't go complain to your boss and hope your boss has a change of heart. No, you go above them. You go to HR. You go to somebody who can check your boss, check your manager, and that's the Most High. Now it sounds so ridiculous, but I would say that makes more sense than going to your boss and voting and hoping maybe he'll be nice to me these next 4 years. Maybe maybe he'll treat me like a human. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. I would rather plead with this power that they are pissing their pants behind and in fear of than begging and groveling to my oppressor and my slave master. Um, read that Matthew and 24 for me.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not angels of heaven, but my Father only.
This is Christ talking about when judgment day will appear, when the children of Israel will be saved from this captivity. And he said, don't nobody know. Don't nobody know when it'll happen. And I think that's not so we're in mystery. I think that's so this oppressor will never be comfortable truly. I think that's to really witness the evil that he's capable of committing, because he doesn't know if it's today or tomorrow, but he's scrambling every day, worried every day. You heard Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, if the prophets, there are certain prophets out there that say that World War III will be the end of the world and the coming of Christ. Well, isn't that a good thing if you're a Christian, right? Ain't that what you are expecting? Ain't that what you wish for and pray for? Donald Trump said it like it was a bad thing. It's a good thing to me. It's a very good thing to me. But to him, because he's not actually in line with the Most High, because he's not actually in line with the Lord, World War III, Judgment Day, those are terrible things to him. Terrible things to his kingdom and his status here in this world, here on the earth. You know what I mean? But Christ said that no man's gonna know the day that he comes back. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also coming of the Son of Man.
So just like how it was in the days of Noah was a man. He built an ark, I believe, for I'm guessing, right? I think it was 40 years. He built this ark, built this massive ship, and it was so much so like a spectacle to people. And they were coming around and saying, Noah, what are you doing? He's like, it's gonna rain, it's gonna flood, everybody gonna die. That's what the Lord said. And everybody just brushes it off. That's what we do, and that's what we're doing right now with this sign right here. These the Congress people are pissing their pants about spacecraft. Donald Trump 8 years ago started the Space Force or whatever. They are scared, but we are not. We're not actually. We don't have the heightened sense of survival that we need to have. This is something that the Lord is doing to scare our enemies, and also hopefully inspire us to believe in him again, so that we don't have to go suffer like they surely will. Suffer like they surely will. I'll get that later about how the Bible says that when these UAPs or these angels descend upon this planet, it'll destroy America in 1 hour. It's not gonna be how long has Ukraine and Russia been at war? What, 3 years? Like 3 years. It's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like the war in Afghanistan, 20 years. It's not gonna be like any war you've ever seen. It's going to be like watching an episode of Game of Thrones, but it's all action. It's all fighting, and then credits roll. That's what the end of America will look like. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible. Now, what would you rather do? You would rather vote next year? What you want to vote in 2 years? What you want to vote in the next 4 years? I would think that'd be unwise. All right, keep reading.
Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Just like in the days of Noah before the flood, they were just living their life, eating, drinking, partying, having little holidays, little festivals, little music concerts, getting married, not concerned with the ever impending doom that was before them. Keep reading.
Unto the day that Noah entered into the ark.
That's what, look, that's what you're seeing today, man. It was all sweet until the doors of the ark shut and then the rain started to fall like this. After that, it's too late, brother. I want you to get in while the boat is being built. That's what we're doing. That's why we're out on the block. That's why we're on the corner. That's why we are doing what Christ commanded, because Christ wants your life saved. I want your life saved too. Black people are the best thing since sliced bread, before sliced bread, all of that. Black Hispanics and Native American Indians. Your life is the most valuable, in my opinion. Damn, this got a little ring in it. But you have to value your life as well. You Blacks, Hispanics, Natives, we have to treat our lives as if they matter. We have to do something. We have to change our lives, change our conduct and the way we move about this earth. You see the signs in heaven, but you brush it off because you gotta pay an electric bill. Let me tell you something. The electric bill, what they say ain't what's up, the rent. The rent don't matter. I'm gonna tell you something. The rent don't matter. You only worry about the rent anyway because you was out there tricking, or you was out there buying things you may not need, spending money on drugs, spending money on things that are unprofitable for yourself, your children, or your community. Otherwise, if you just, I don't want you to live in the regret that the people who lived that saw Noah shut up that ark live with. Read that again, please. Read that again. Adam.
Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Verse 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away.
See, you act like you don't know. You Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we act like we don't know that the Most High is coming back. I know that you know he's coming back. I know that you know this all matters. Ask me how. I see Dykes making little jokey TikToks talking about when you hear a trumpet in the sky. She walk out wearing stud attire. She hear that trumpet. She run back in the house and come out in a dress. Blacks and Hispanics, they know enough. They know it. They know their first step to change. You're just afraid to make that step. You want to know why? Because you're friends. You're afraid of what your dumb friends is gonna think. You're afraid of what people are gonna think. Your job is gonna think. You're afraid of what your how you'll be looked at, brother. Christ didn't care how he was looked at. Ain't that why you love him? Christ fought for you. He fought for sinners, and at the time that was very unappealing. That was like ill. This is the guy. This is supposed to be the Messiah, the savior of the nation, and he's over here fighting for adulterers and homosexuals. Oh, slack. One second. Hold on. This camera tripping. You got some? Go ahead.
It's not off topic though, but I feel like we just don't believe just as much as they think we do. Like one of the priests in the school, I can't remember exactly who said it, but they was like, if people believe in the Most High so much and got so much faith in the Most High, why when they go to the hospital they fight so bad to be back here? Like if you have so much faith and trust in the Lord, why is you doing everything, telling the doctor to do what he can do? Yeah, to stay alive.
Some people only love their life when they know they're about to lose it. It's a sense of immaturity. What is this reverb? Definitely getting that. hold the mic away from the speaker. Nah, toward back to your right. Or yeah, that way. That's fine. Just hold it in your right hand. It should be fine with that. But the a lot of people believe that their life is only to be used for their pleasure until they die. And they learn that from our oppressor. That's where they learned that from. I remember I started eating healthy and I was telling people about it. I was like, yeah, nah, I don't do that. That's gonna kill you. And this white devil, she told me, he said, oh, who cares? Nobody who wants to live forever, XYZ. I said, you say that now until she smoked cigarettes, like chain smoking. I said, you say that now until you can't breathe tomorrow. I saw her a couple years later. She stopped smoking. You want to know why? Because the doctor said she was about to die. This is kind of me being the nation's doctor. We're about to die. Everybody's about to die, except for a very certain few. All right. Or if you're not about to die, about to get real effed up. You know what I mean? I would rather I want that. I don't want that for us. I would rather we just got right beforehand, got right before the doors of the ark shut. Fix the problems in our community before the Most High has to, and He doesn't do it like going in and talking to us person to person. A lot of y'all believe that you will have the opportunity to talk to Jesus Christ when He comes back. The Bible doesn't say He's going to do interviews. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that He's going to put everyone into subjugation, and those who will not serve Him will perish, will die. He said, slay them before me. That's in Luke. That's what's going to happen. Don't let that Christian church misguide you and lead you to believe that you can be a fuck up all your life and then ask for forgiveness when you're about to die. That is not how anything works. It's not how life works. It's not how the Most High works. And that's definitely not how heaven works, whatever you believe heaven is. All right. I'll go ahead and drop. I'm going to drop that. Hold that, Ezekiel. I'm going to keep going on this video. Yeah. Ooh.
Here, Mr. Elizondo does discuss some USO activity that he's observed in certain DoD databases.
Mr. Elizondo, in regards to these aircraft being piloted by whatever they might be, non-human biologics, would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Now, our oppressor is so confounded, so curious. How the hell is he supposed to know what's inside the ship? Or, I mean, allegedly, if it is a crashed spaceship that they have recovered, like they say they got, I guess he could know. And she's asking, how do they pilot it? Is it with their brain? Is it with their mind? XYZ. That's what she's asking. Oh, go ahead.
Slugger, man. She might well just, the dude might well tell her, it's ET.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay it down flat.
They lay it down flat.
Imagine the worst possible thing, and it's 2 times as bad.
The movie made in the 80s wasn't a lie.
Right.
It was ET.
Let me get that right there. Let me show you what this brother talking about. Y'all don't know what he's talking about. This is dang, I want that ending cutscene from ET where he got beamed up. I said, damn, that's a big ass ship. That's basically it. Whatever. I guess they don't remember the ET movie. That's crazy. Is this it? I don't even see it. But they should show like, is it copywritten? There you go. That's this who you want to see who piloting the ship. I'll show you right now. This brother right here. This brother right here. That's who piloting the ship. That's who. It's a cool one right here. This one. That's the one, brother. That's who the Congress are saying is piloting. Otherwise, it's classified. That's what they're saying is piloting these ships out there in the waters and in the skies. The United States government can't tell you nothing besides to be afraid, because that's what they are, afraid. You know what I mean? And get ready, because they don't know if these things are going to turn hostile the next day. Let's keep going.
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because some cases seem to anticipate our maneuvers, and in other cases they seem to. I came across an email where the word "stalked" was used in a very.
Brother, these angels of the Most High God are not playing around. They are hoping, like, hey, is it intelligent? Is it something like, or is he just like random? Is this like a phenomenon, like a light ray or an aurora borealis type bit? No, these are intelligent. They follow the pilots of these crafts. They are stalking. They go and look at certain sites or whatever the case might be all over the planet Earth, all throughout the United States. That's what this admiral is saying. So, like, let's keep going.
secure email between Navy officers discussing their ships being pursued by a UAP.
In our previous panel,
Imagine radioing that up. We're being followed. We're being followed by a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, or whatever it is. They got to be
we
shitting
had
grits.
Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified. I'm certainly as a scientist.
Okay, this part right here I wanted to get right. So in other briefings, they have said that these are interdimensional beings. Do you know what that means? And later she's gonna ask a question that describes how they move, and he's gonna be like, they move like, imagine you ever. Only way I could describe it is, instead of you moving through a room, imagine you moving the room around you. If that makes sense. You just stand still and you just shift you just like, I want to be closer to that wall, and you just make the whole room go that way without you ever actually physically moving at all. That's how he's going to describe these the movement of these crafts, these angels, as the Bible is going to describe it as well. But she's asking, she's like, yeah, they've described these beings as interdimensional. Now, what does that mean? Interdimensional means that, to the perspective or to the eye of a human, this thing is going. He's here one moment. He's not here another moment. Also, he's moving like I just described. He's able to exist on it. These crafts are able to exist on this plane and defy all physics. It's like they follow different rules of reality. Like gravity isn't a factor. Weight, speed, air drag, none of those things are factors to these crafts. This is something that the Lord has made to come and liberate Israel. All right.
Had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified. I'm certainly as a scientist or otherwise to speculate points of origin. I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts, and ultimately redouts, and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is this older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing.
All right. He's just said that people can sustain about 8 to 9 G's of pressure, of gravitational force, uh, exerted on their body, usually through acceleration at a time before passing out or dying, generally dying. That's what blacking out, redding out is. You're about to die, basically. And now he's about to describe that's 9 G's, nine, that's a number, right? Now he's about to describe at which the force that uh these angels seem to move in, or these aliens seem to move
in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
I'm gonna run that back. Yeah,
The
I don't
vehicles
think I heard. I don't think I
we're
heard.
talking about.
Go ahead.
Like I don't know how. Basically, he's saying how fast this thing was going. But I don't know how fast all that would that mean because I don't know this. I know because sound like
Don't think of it like speed. This is more like pickup. This is just like
pick
start
up.
and stop. Yeah, it does relate to speed directly, but it's also like it's like how how they say like 0 to 60. What's your 0 to 60? So let's imagine somebody will die if the 0 to 60 is faster than 1 second. Well, the 0 to 60 on these ships are less than 100th of a second.
Speed of light.
Yes, it basically like this. It's next to the speed. It's closer to the speed of light than it is to us. That's how different it is. That's an excellent way of looking at it.
Are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So I guess would it be safe to infer that they're living?
Now, this is who Esau thinks that they can battle against. Hey, brother, that's who Esau thinks they could battle against. You thought that little Logan Paul Tyson fight was bad. Brother, this is a bad fight. Go ahead.
I get a piece if I could. Just me listening to that stuff. Man, we need it as American. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna say American as a whole. And we living in America, we live in this hell. But I mean, by come January, man, I think they're gonna raise up. Their taxes gonna go up. I'm gonna tell you why taxes gonna go up.
Yeah,
the taxes gonna go up because they're gonna put everything to combat this thing here. They're gonna try to find all kind of weapons to try to combat this. They might go stealth. They might try to find something to turn it be invisible, so they're gonna be able to destroy this thing. So they're gonna raise our taxes, so they're gonna pay for research to combat this thing. Probably, I say it today. Watch what happens. Come by January, our taxes gonna go up, and we're gonna try to pay to find a solution to this thing here.
bro. Hey, give him a hand. Like I'm gonna watch. You're on the mark and if they do raise our taxes, nobody's gonna complain, and they're gonna say we have to fight this new global threat. This isn't about black, white, Chinese, Russian. This is about human versus alien. That's what they're going to say. Black man, don't you stay out of this. You pretend like this is the 2024 presidential election race all over again. This is none of your business. You stay out of it. You don't worry about. You don't sign up to go to war with no damn aliens. You're from a lying devil. He don't even understand the damn thing. And what he has observed, he said that it is able to withstand thousands times more pressure than we can. But I think I can shoot it with an AR-15. I think I can nail it. It's stupid fast. It's way faster than anything I've ever seen. But I'm a good shot. You ain't never seen me. You ain't seen me with this AR-15. That's the pride and the hubris behind our oppression, man. Ridiculous as it sounds, that is actually their game plan. Their game plan is to try to reverse engineer what they saw, what they see. They want to instill confidence in the population by saying, yeah, we got a piece of the spacecraft. Everybody got a piece of the spacecrafts. They crash all the time, allegedly. They drunk driving, I guess. They crash all the time. Every nation got a piece of the spacecraft. We all race into reverse engineering.
So like if I can, they're only crashing in Nevada for some reason. I guess they are.
Yeah, always in Nevada. I've been in Nevada. Ain't shit to hit. Ain't nothing to hit out there. But that's just what that's just the story they telling us. I will tell you this, man. Look, that light in the sky could be your savior or your damnation, depending on how you act. If you believe in the Bible, you believe in God, you gotta believe in him. You can't believe, and that relates back to what you asked early in this class. You can't believe in God halfway. You can't believe in God on your terms. You got to believe in God all the way or none of the way. That's what you got to do, man. You got to commit. I believe, I don't believe this oppressor. They lied to me about damn near everything. They're about to, all the time we complain about their lies. They're about to teach the kids that slavery was a choice, that we came over here and they taught us jobs. You were complaining about that. How you think they telling you the truth today? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just you say that. What we got coming up? Thanksgiving, right? I'm sure they're teaching the kids that the Pilgrims came peacefully and they ate kumbaya with the Indians. With no slaughter happened. You know what I'm saying? They cook a good turkey. They made some potato salad.
Right. Lied about that.
It's just and Pilgrims love the Indians. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the lies and deceiving lies they teach our kids. And eventually, like you said, our parents were taught the same thing. It trickled down from generation to generation. And
yeah,
we fought for the okadoke. So
right now we fighting for the lies, and that's what I don't want us to do. And that's all it takes. It takes one halfway sleep generation, this oppressor to come in and tell the kids some lies, and now the kids are, fighting for the lies. I got black women yelling at me about racism is over with and she hate black men. I said, it sounds pretty racist in here. It feels pretty racist. Look, reality is a reflection of what we're living in. Now you got to ask yourself, what's more real? How many times are you gonna sound like a battered wife? No, this time they're telling the truth. This time is right. No, this time we gotta vote. This time our vote matters. How many times have they said that? How many times have they led us to believe something that just isn't true? Led us to, what I would do is I would always confer with God's word. That's what I would confer with. I would check back with this Bible, see if what they're saying aligns with that, and what does and what does not align with that. And then you'll know what the truth is. Go ahead.
Okay. I had a discussion with my pop and my younger brother about the voting thing. I told him I don't vote. They got highly upset. Why you don't vote? You ain't doing nothing. You ain't trying to help nothing.
That's crazy.
You ain't trying to do nothing. What's about your kids? And what you mean they're going? You go for the wrong person. You ain't voting. Your kids gonna suffer. I mean, why I won't vote for? And they said vote for the lesser. One of my pops said you need to vote for the lesser evil. I like he a Christian. I like, man, you a Christian? You saying that?
Right.
Like that don't make any sense. Why would you vote for to the evils that don't believe the same things as you believe in? You follow Christ's laws, statutes, and commandments. They follow the white man laws of the land. They don't give a damn about Christ. Everything that goes against Christ's law, they don't follow. Anyway, we were discussing, right? So if our vote counts, right? So we've been voting since how long? I don't know when anybody was 19, what?
I think
30s or something.
Definitely, yeah, the 30s.
30s, 40s or something like that. We still fighting for the right to vote, right? So when you got the right to vote, black people start running to the voting booths, right?
Gabar, go check on that. Go ahead.
They was running to the voting booths, right? Now that's it's about almost about 100 years, about 30s, probably 100 some years now. So do you think I want you to name? I told him I want you to name on your hand how many black men there was. If you got your vote count, we should have every other president should be in black.
In school? Just wait for them to knock.
right? You know what I'm saying? If they vote to come, why not every other president is a black man?
Why haven't we?
So that
Like,
made me
yeah.
nothing haven't changed. You're still getting your oppressor over you. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm thinking, why they trying to blaze on you? Like you the
yeah,
one who ain't been trying to
exactly.
fight for the black community. If you voted the person you vote for, no, they agree that they aren't gonna really help the black community. I'm voting for a lesser of two evils. That means they're gonna do something bad to me. Yeah, go ahead. That's the we just bought into the lies, of course, from our oppressor. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we're gonna have to overcome all of this. Shalom, sis. Shalom, bro. Yeah, we're gonna have to overcome all this. How you doing, brother? We're gonna have to overcome all the lies that we get from this oppressive system, man. The lie that voting is gonna help black people in any way or fashion is cap. I'm gonna prove it to you right now. Kamala Harris promised she wasn't gonna do anything at all for just black people until she heard that black men might not vote for her. Then she said, "Oh boy, well let me go ahead and fix something up for these niggas." That's what does that show you? She wasn't gonna do nothing for us before that. That's it's better if you don't vote. It's better if you do not vote. It's better if you boycott your vote. If there's nothing else that I take from Martin Luther King and his protest and his movement, it's the boycotting. The boycotting that he did with the bus systems and things like that. And black people didn't just boycott those bus systems. They also made their own bus systems. Everybody would pull in $1 or whatever the case might be, and we would drive to work together. Some brother drive a van, get everybody where they need to go. And you know what that created? That created black jobs, brotherhood, black wealth. Our oppressor damn near had to get sick the police on us to get us back on the bus, and we said no. That's the solidarity we had. If I give Martin Luther King no props, I'll give him that. But that's what we need to go back to, not the voting. The power that we have if we are loyal to each other, if we spend our money with each other, if we find solutions in each other, we don't have to worry about a white person voting for a white person to fix it for us. That's just the reality that we live in, man. Let me get back into how the oppressor is scared that these aliens, otherwise known as the Lord's angels, are going to decimate his society. All right, I'm gonna back this up just.
Are you, I guess, would it be safe to infer that they're living craft?
I'm not prepared at this point to state for the record, is something alive or not, because even that definition is hard. There was a time in science we thought that life required oxygen, and we now know that's not true. There are anaerobic bacteria that thrive in this.
All right, she just asked him if the ship itself is alive or if it has a pilot. Talking about these aliens, these UFOs or UAPs that they're seeing. She doesn't know how the hell he going. Well, if he says like he alleges that he has pieces of a spacecraft, which means that they have some sort of wreckage or something. So he should be able to answer this question. She asked, is it the spacecraft? Is that the thing that's alive, or is it a pilot? He said, I don't know. I'm no expert. All right, well, let's define what is alive. That's what he's basically going into. That's why I'm kind of skipping through this. It's just a skate away. He's also talking about a lot of things that are still very classified.
I was in college, I was told everything is derived from photosynthesis as a form of energy. In reality, that's not true. There are things that live off of chemosynthesis. So we're constantly having to reevaluate our understanding of what the definition of life is.
Do any of you ever come across reports from people that claim to have firsthand experiences with these entities, whatever they might be, or these aircraft, and then as a result, whether or not they're religious, find that these things will automatically disappear? Anyone? This is.
Look,
Everything is derived from photosynthesis
you just
as
snuck
a
that
form
in.
of energy. Having to reevaluate our understanding of what the definition of life is.
Do any of you ever come across reports from people that claim to have firsthand experiences with these entities, whatever they might be, or these aircraft, and then as a result, whether or not they're religious, find that these things will automatically disappear? Anyone, and this is open to any of you on the panel. So just real quick, because I'm running out of time. Lou?
That was
Ma'am, I've always been a nuts and bolts kind of guy. When I was at ATIP, I was focusing more on the performance characteristics and less on the potential occupants.
Okay, the reason I ask is because it seems like, just based on our conversations, that we've had people that say that there are good and bad of whatever these things are. And so my concern from a national security perspective is A, that true? B, are you guys hearing the reports of that? And C, I think moving forward in regards to technology, Mr. Gold, if you can answer this real quickly, some of these aircraft, it seems that they are operating off of energy that we don't currently have. But just yes or no, in your opinion, if we were able to obtain that, would that impact humanity for the better or negative?
Certainly save us some money on funding on Artemis.
Definitely.
And this is a national security issue that
all right. I'm gonna drop that. I got one more clip from that. I'll pull a little bit later. Yeah, I'll take that, Zachariah. Before you do that, this whole thing is a bunch of they're still softballing what they understand these UAPs. I'll call them UAPs because they call them UAPs. They're still softballing what they know about these UAPs because they want to allow the minds of the people who are even curious. A lot of black people don't care because they're worrying about the rent. They're worried about, making the rent, making the electric. They don't have time to really worry about these things flying in the sky when that is what you should be worried about. Those things flying in the sky are going to save you from your rents. That's what I'm not saying pray to them. Don't pray to them or nothing like that. You pray to the Lord. The Lord is sending them down to eventually come and liberate us. But that is a sign of heaven, so much so that even they got to talk about it in Congress. This is something that we taught. I remember first getting into school, I would teach this lesson. I was like, I seen chariots and all of that. And I'm like, I don't know if they're going to believe this one. Now they talking about it in Congress and nobody cares. This is a greater sign to show you that we're just getting much, much closer to the end. And it's going to be, when it's over, it's over. When it's over, Lord, you're going to be in one or you're not going to be in one type. You know what I mean? So I would provoke black people and black people are changing. I ain't gonna lie, this election has changed. A lot of black people galvanized us into believing that we are important. The only thing that's important to a lot of black people now is only black people. They got sisters out there trying to start a black projects to fund black communities and things like that. You got black people who are like apologizing to black men. Black women on the internet apologizing to black men. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear me out there. When's the last time a black woman ever apologized to y'all? Not my sisters in the school, of course. but that's something that's damn near a miracle. I might have to get a precept for that later. That's something that's happening out in the earth because we're getting that much closer to the end. I would have everybody who's supposed to be there be there. The Most High and Christ beckons all Israel to be in the kingdom of heaven. You will be one way or another, but I just don't want you to have to be reincarnated, if you understand what I'm saying. So go ahead, grab what you got. I'm going to explain what they were talking about how these ships move and whatnot. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Verse 2. And he said unto him, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits.
See, this is Zechariah looking up into the sky, and he sees a flying roll, which is basically think of it like a wheel. He's like, damn, it's like a like a scroll, almost like this scroll right here. It's like a cylinder or tube. It's up in there in the sky. It's flying. He's like, it's go ahead. He's gonna describe its dimensions. Go ahead.
Length thereof is 20 cubits, and breadth thereof 10 cubits.
See, it's longer on one side, shorter on one side. I say it's like, I think it's like 20 feet that way, 10 feet that way. That's what I see, Lord. Keep reading.
Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that,
No, this is the blessing.
this is the curse.
No, this is the rapture.
This is the curse that go forth over the face of the whole earth.
See, the Bible has described these UAPs, these UFOs, as God's judgment. That's what God is going to send to judge this nation for what it's done to Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, for the oppression, for the ghetto, for the crack epidemic, for the poverty, for the lack of care and compassion. For not only do they not come and help us, they are the reason why we, the damn levees break. If there's a hurricane, how the levees break and just my neighborhood get flooded. That is they are the author of all mischief in our community. Now, that might sound like a bold claim, but when you do a little bit of research and you realize that poor people are concentrated into the downtowns and certain aspects, certain places in certain cities on purpose, and then they're redlined out to stay there, and they're not able to buy homes out of there. There used to be in the law, you couldn't, in the deed, it would be like, you cannot sell this house to a black man. That law isn't enforced. So it's not enforced in your face anymore, but it's secretly enforced. These things, this is just, now that can't claim doesn't seem so bold. That's where we are as a community. That's where we've always been. Even though we don't see the chains on our shoulders and around our necks anymore, they're still quite there, and God sees them. God sees the affliction that Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives suffer here in America, and that's why God is going to send these curses upon America. Is that all? Go ahead.
I can read from the top, sir. Verse 3. Then said he unto him, this is the curse that go forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that still shall be cut off as this side according to it, and everyone that swear shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
It's just saying, this one vessel, this one miracle that it showed Zechariah or Zechariah in the Hebrew, it showed him that this is the thing that the Most High is going to use to destroy all of our enemies. All right, all of our enemies. That's why we say you don't gotta vote. That's why we say you don't gotta go out there and ride and go do like Charleston White did, and you go start allegedly shooting at cops and doing all the things that he did when he crashed out behind Philando Castile and all those brothers that was getting murdered between 2014 and 2018. You don't got to do all that. All you got to do is something that they still call hatred, but it just feels right to me. All you got to do is love black people. You got to love black people so much that you kind of hate white people. That's the only way you can love black people. You cannot love black people if you don't hate white people. Imagine somebody steals something from you, and I go out and I hang out with them the next day. I say, I love both of y'all. Apparently not. You don't want me to get justice. You don't want me to have a fair treatment in this world. How you gonna say you love me? Love isn't an emotion. Love is something that you act upon. You got to show me you love me. If you love me, you better tell your homeboy, whoever he is, to give me my things back. You better tell your homeboy, whoever he is, to stop to get his knee off my neck. If you love me, otherwise you don't love me. You just giving me lip service. Is that everything on that? Yeah, give me 4. Enter the house of the thief.
Look at the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 4. I will bring it forward, say the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief.
See, this America is the house of the thief. That's the thief in my metaphor. That's the thief that the Lord is speaking about. This land called America, America was stolen. America was stolen. Black inventions were stolen. Every half of the culture that this country alleges to have is stolen. You got $5 Indians running around, white men pretending to be Native Americans. That one Congresswoman, Elizabeth Warren, she says she's Native, full-blood Native American. She is the whitest woman I ever seen. This is the house of the thief. Not only do they steal the land, not only do they steal the innovation, they steal the labor, they steal the blood, sweat, and tears of us. Then they steal the credits. They steal the credit too. And then they say that we are nothing more than a virus. That's what white people call us on Twitter. They call us a virus here in America. We built America. we are the thing that has this place. You want to the reason why you can Caucasians can live in Nevada is because a black man built an AC. You think I made that up? They be toast, quite literally. Read that again.
Come, verse 4. I will bring it forward, say the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and it's like and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
That is the prophecy that be happy to hear this news. You should be like, oh, that's the Most High right there. That's the Lord right there. You hear these Congress people talking about UAPs, unidentified phenomenon, in all different shapes and sizes. They say some look like the scroll that Zechariah saw, like a cylinder type shape. Some look like triangles or pyramids or whatever. They all look that's what they allege that to have seen. Some look like squares and rectangles. You should be happy to hear that your oppressor is scared for once. They're happy to hear when we're scared. When an oppressor hears about us crying about getting lynched and murdered and unalived by the police, they know that their society is safe. Their supremacy is safe. You got some?
Except on Romans 13:11, the high times.
Go ahead.
Coming to kind, this is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out our sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe it.
See, brother, that's an excellent scripture too. Now it is high time. Now, if you're a Christian, you or God, a God-fearing person, you believe in God like so many people say they do. Now you should see the sign. You should see the signs. You should see that it is almost over. It's nearer than when you first believed. You first learned about God. You was like, oh, word, Christ died for my sins. He wanted me to have salvation for the coming judgment day to come and take away the earth. Now you hear that judgment day is so much closer. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna live up to the expectations of your King Christ, Jesus Christ, or Yahushua in the Hebrew, or are you going to chill? Or are you gonna just what did the Bible say in the days of Noah? You're gonna keep eating and drinking and marrying and things like that. I would have you do the opposite. It's not that hard. You don't got to do a whole lot to follow Christ's commandments. All you got to do is what I described tonight. You just got to love black people, stop sinning. You got to put away your sin, whatever it might be. You can't be on drugs. You can't be throwing women away. You can't be eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. You can't do things like that. If you do all those things, then the kingdom of heaven is promised to you. I'm not making that up. That's the words of Christ. He said, if you turn away from your old man and pick up and sin no more, well, then the kingdom of heaven is yours. I can't promise you that. Christ promised us that. That's just your first entry ticket. And of course, you could always take upon yourself the righteous role of trying to be one of his elect, being the opposite of these lying senators, lying politicians, or lying officials. You could be one of Christ's elect, one of the 144,000, and pick up the cross that Christ laid down and suffer in his name. Go out and you go and do the job of raising up Christ, God's people. You could always do that. All right. That's the end of that. I'm gonna get this last video and some more precepts real quick. Last time I taught, man, they kicked me off you can't even say the word Kamala without getting kicked off of TikTok now. Boy, they be hating. I was like, Kamala's not black. Dang, this camera tripping. You gotta get a new wire for this. Yeah. Okay, let me see if we got any questions. All right, let's get this video.
Enough that these dudes just testified before Congress under oath that there are aliens here. The comments on YouTube are freaking out about her because Miss Luna here does not play games. So listen to what she asks and then watch this man's answer straight defy physics.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
The human body can withstand about 9 G forces for a short period of time before you see outs and ultimately red outs and even death. Comparison, our platform, but one of our most highly by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
And in the reports, this isn't just in the air, this is underwater too. This brought to mind a supposedly controversial theory behind the seemingly impossible movement of UAPs, if we can in fact call it movement at all. He proposed that the way we were looking at it was limited, and that rather...
Right. So we talked about earlier that before a man blacks out or dies, he can only sustain about 8 Gs or 9 Gs of force. G stands for like gravitational force. So to put that into perspective, y'all rode roller coasters before. So when you're on a roller coaster, the most you might feel is like 2 or 3 Gs. You're not gonna ever pass out, but you might feel like, oh damn, like you might feel your stomach hit the top of your chest or something like that. Well, before you start blacking out or dying, that's around 9 or 10 Gs. He said that these aircraft, these watercraft, these UAPs, they move at thousands of Gs of force. And this is who your oppressor, this is who the U.S. government wants to go to a war with, who they want to fight. I don't see how that's gonna. I just did some quick math, of course. I don't see that adding up, but they do it. They do whatever they want to do. See if that work out for them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get this right here where he's how they say that describe the movement of these aircraft, watercraft, UAPs.
Rather than moving through space as we know it, that instead these vehicles travel by shifting their point of realization in the field, which to any onlookers would certainly simulate movement, but would be more aptly described as a kind of rapid, continuous teleportation of sorts. So despite physically traveling, the object technically...
All right, so that's what I was kind of describing earlier. So when these things move, it's not like how, car moves. The wheels turn and push it forward, or a helicopter, the blades turn and moves this way, or whatever the case might be. The way it looks, how it moves, it's like it doesn't do anything at all. It's kind of like if I had a laser, I started just moving it around this. but the aircraft is the laser dot, and that's just going like this and that without any sort of change or movement. I'm gonna get how that's in the Bible. All right. That should be Isaiah 60. No. Ezekiel 1:16. Yeah. 1:16.
Comes the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a burr.
So this is just describing the appearance of some of these UAPs. It was like the color of a barrel, which is like a bluish green stone. All right. Go ahead.
And their forehead one a likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
So it's just describing how it looked. It looked like a wheel in a wheel, kind of like a big old mothership type of Independence Day mothership with a green light aura around it. Let me go ahead. There's a reason. Look, this is semi-accurate to what it's looking like. A wheel in a wheel, right? It don't ever pull up. It don't. It ain't never did this before. Usually when I'm looking up these images, it just pull right up. But okay, so we'll go with this one, right? See if I can full screen this. All right, if you can see this, this is like a wheel inside of a wheel, almost, if that makes sense. So this would be a wheel, and then it's like another wheel inside of it in the centerish part. It's basically like it's circle. It's like a circle inside of a circle type bit when you're describing it. Yeah, you could say, yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, think of like that, like a kaleidoscope. Yeah, something like that. That's the image of it. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 17. When they went upon their four sides.
So this is what they were describing how it moved. They didn't say it they said that it was less like it moved and more like it had a continuous teleportation, which would be like, if you were to teleport, it wouldn't look like you had a walking motion. You would just be sitting here. I'd be sitting here. Now I'm sitting over there. Now I'm sitting over there. And that's how it looks like they move. That's how they move. They don't walk. They don't float or nothing like that. They just are there now, over here now. That's why they say like it's move. It looks like it's moving so fast. But go ahead, keep reading.
And they turned not when they went.
It turned out when it went. What does that mean? It's just saying like it doesn't need to turn to go left and right. It just goes left. It just goes right. Think of it like this. Let's see, like show the camera off. So think of it everything golden in school. Let me see something. Think of it like this, right? So this is like a flying roll. That thing just goes like this. It doesn't, there is no side where there's propulsion or no side where it's like lift off or take off or floats or wings. This thing is just anywhere it wants to be, however it wants to be. And it can turn however it wants to. I think that'll come up later. It can do all of that, rearrange itself, of course. That's just like how the Bible, which is over 2,000 years old, described these objects moving in the sky. That's how the United States government, the Congress, these Navy ship admirals are describing these ships today moving. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 18. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four.
All right, this is getting into the pilots of the actual of the actual UAP or the chariot. We call them chariots because they have drivers. They're just a vehicle. So, or a chariot. Chariots are just old school vehicles, old school whips or wheels. This is getting more into the appearance of the pilots of these chariots. These they don't look pretty, of course. The angels in the Bible are dreadful to look at, of course. But that's I'm gonna save that for another day. That's not today's class. Let's drop that. Go to or stay there. Go to 20. Oh, go to 19 actually. Skip that verse. Go to 19.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creature were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lift up. It's like it would lift up.
Okay, so this is just like that question that congresswoman asked. She was like, "Hey, so are they controlling these things with their mind, or whatever the case?" She asked that question. This is the Bible describing how the chariots are moving. It's just the pilot's mind. He's like, wherever he wants it to go, that's where it goes. However he wants it to move, that's how it's gonna move. Read that again.
Verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up.
Just like how I described.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a mental. You could call it a mental connection. That's how. I'm not a scientist, and I wasn't there, but this is the Bible's description of the movement of these crafts. Keep reading.
Verse 20. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Hither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. But
that's just to show that it was like a mental thing. The spirit said, "Look, I can move it how I move. I'm gonna go up, left, right, down," and that's what he did. It went up, left, right, down, and to this. Now that sounds plain because we've seen so many Hollywood movies. But if I told you right now I can move that helmet right now without touching nothing, you'd be like, "Whatever, nigga." That's the majesty that the Lord has given his angels in the kind of artillery. Think of it like think of it like guns. YNs, they love guns. Right? That's why a lot of cats got switches, because they're like, "Oh yeah, the ops don't got this. The ops don't have this kind of firepower. They don't have this machinery. This is going to give me an advantage over them." This is the advantage that the Lord has over our oppressor. Our oppressor got to start the engine, get in, sit down, buckle up, start warm up the South engines with the fleets and the admiral ships. One of these things that he's not even inside of it when he's moving it. The angel's not even inside. In this verse, he's not even inside of it. He's moving the chariot with his mind outside of the chariot. It's a completely different ball game than our oppressor thinks is gonna be. The last war, after World War III, when Christ comes back and takes this whole thing down, they think they're going to fight against Christ. Let me get that in second entrance. They think they're going to be able to fight against Christ and somehow overthrow or somehow win against Christ, because that's all they have. If they don't fight, they'll die. They know that after their time is up, they're going to be what Kanye West said, the new slaves. They're going to be the new ones. And they don't want to do that. They're going to go down fighting. And hey, whatever, do it. I don't care how you get to the field, just get there. You know what I mean? Just be there 6 a.m. sharp. I don't care if we got to drag you or not, but you better show up. That's really my opinion on it. But they think that they can box with the Most High. They're going to lose. You got that? Should be second exit. Should be in 13, I believe. uh, then they would turn the fight. Let's see. Nation. It's right after the 13th tribe or the 10 tribes break down, and second it is 1326. I think it's 1326. Could be talking about and go to second address 1332. That should be it.
Book of Second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 32.
Go to 31. Might as well.
Uh,
This is the World War III prophecy that is to come.
this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another.
And one realm against another. See, all this talk of kumbayaing and we're all one people and the melting pot is all BS. Everybody else on the planet Earth knows that this is just a way to make money, and it only exists here in America. Eventually, everybody gonna go back home. Chinese people gonna go back to China. Indians are gonna go back to East India. Kamala too. She gonna take her white East India. Well, I don't know. She got two places to go, either England or East India. Everybody's going to pick a person to fight with. It'll be and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another. It's going to be race wars and things like that in World War III. Everybody's going to band together. That's why I'm trying to get black people to band together before it's violence. We have to be able to cohabitate and cooperate before it's too late. Damn, I'm rapping tonight. Y'all heard that? Write that down. Somebody write that. That's what it is. That's the Bible. I ain't write that down. That was there. This was here before I was alive, right? So that's the prophecies that are to come, and that's what everybody was afraid of at the end of this election. They said if Donald Trump is elected, look, brother, just y'all gonna go back into slavery instantaneously. Y'all going right back to slavery. The black women turned on half of them, turned on us. Look, brother, that is coming, but that ain't gonna come off of a day like of an election day. But this should be a soft lesson for us that if you're so afraid that we can be so put in this chain so easily, why not get together with your people? You think it's time to swirl still? You think you should get with a white girl or a white boy? You're tripping, right? Keep reading. Go to 32.
And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen when I show it thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascended.
So that's what's happening right now. We're declaring Christ. Christians have declared Christ. They believe that Christ is all love, all forgiveness, all this, all that, nothing harmful, nothing, all pleasure. We're declaring that Christ is much different. We're declaring that Christ is a get down, lay down kind of man. He's a I have love for my people if my people have love for me type of man. That's who Christ is. And to love God and to love Christ, you got to just do what he asked. That he died for you. Why can't you kill a little bit of your diet for him? Kill a little bit of your lifestyle for Christ. He died for us, right? So that's what we're declaring here in the truth. We're declaring that, Christ isn't all love me, kiss me, white Jesus. He's a black man who walks and talks in authority. Keep going. Keep reading.
Verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in his own land hear the battle they have once against another.
And when all the people hear his voice, when they hear Christ coming down with those angels, those UAPs, those chariots, what are they gonna do? They're gonna every man shall in their own land.
Every man shall in his own land leave the battle they had once, so like had one against another.
They're all going to leave World War III. They're going to put their differences to the side. In the middle of World War III, Christ is going to return. Christ is going to return, and everybody's going to see those UAPs, those aliens coming down, whatever they want to call them, and they're going to put their differences to the side. Russians, French people, Chinese people, Taiwanese people, white Americans. Who else is going to be? Iranians, Israelis, whoever the hell is fighting during that time. They're all going to realize that if they don't fight against Christ coming back, then they're going to lose anyway. And they're going to turn away from their bickering fight to try to fight Christ. That's what's going to happen. And that's when they're going to lose. I would, it is what it is. And that's all over the Bible, right? Go ahead, keep reading. I think there's a little more.
Verse 34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, and thou sawest them, saying to them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting.
See, they think that they're going to be able to fight against Christ, to stand up against Christ, to try to somehow maintain the white supremacy on the globe. And that's just not going to be. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the class. If anybody doesn't have any comments or questions, nobody? All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and give a courtesy salute to the brothers and the sisters. Men of Israel, I majim, which means to stand. All right. Majim, rock, power, guys, check out top rock thug. That's my time. Sorry, turn and face the sisters. Give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I majim Shabbat. I majim, rock. Yahweh Shabbat, son by Shimi Awashra. That's my time. Classes.